The severity of herpes and preventative measures to avoid the virus. Herpes is one of the most common viruses. The central message of our PSA is that herpes should be taken seriously and preventative measures should be better acknowledged.
Two types. They have different spreading way. HSV1 typically spread via oral contact. HSV2 typically spread via sexual contact. Let me talk about HSV structures. HSV is an enveloped virus with linear double-strand DNA gene. They include long and short components. How viruses enter the cells? They rely on three types of glycoproteins. Initially, they rely on B and D to bind to the heparin surface on the host cell surface. The stable attachment requires glycoprotein D interact with specific receptors. This can enable fusion with the host membrane. Once inside the virus releases DNA in the nucleus, the variant proteins interact with proteins to start transcription. This is how HSV replicates in human body.
Around 64% of people under the age of 50 have contracted herpes HSV1, and around 13% of people ages ranging between 15 to 49 have contracted herpes HSV2. It's an easily transferable virus, contracted from direct contact, mucous membranes, or bodily fluids. The severity of herpes varies. For oral herpes, you may experience open sores, flu-like symptoms, or recurring infections. With genital herpes, you may experience ulcerations, infections, and for pregnant women can cause implications for unborn children. Immunocompromised people are at more risk of experiencing these symptoms more frequently and severely, and can even lead to eye or brain infection.
There are many ways to prevent contracting herpes. The main way to do this is to wear condoms when engaging in sexual activity. This reduces the risk of contracting herpes massively, although it doesn't completely eliminate the risk because herpes can still spread to areas that aren't covered or protected. Limiting the amount of sexual partners is another way of preventing the chances of contracting herpes. This means less exposure to the virus. Another form of prevention is to avoid contact when blisters and other symptoms are noticeable on other people or yourself. Maintaining good hygiene is key in trying to prevent herpes. This means doing things such as washing your hands regularly and not touching blisters on your body unless your hands are clean. It is also important to get tested regularly to know about your sexual health. Maintaining a good diet, having regular exercise, and a sufficient amount of sleep helps your body stay healthy, which reduces the likelihood of contracting any type of virus. The spread of this virus can be easily limited by taking precautionary steps while around others. This includes things such as being more cautious when sharing food and being honest about STDs to your sexual partners. Antiviral medications such as aciclovir, valaciclovir, or famiciclovir helps reduce the frequency of the outbreaks of symptoms. Over-the-counter pain relievers such as ibuprofen can also reduce pain and discomfort that you are experiencing.
Can repurpose current immunosuppressive drugs to further explore effects on preventing the reactivation of herpes, as well as anti-cancer treatments like protease inhibitors, which have potential in blocking viral replication. Gene therapy can directly alter the genetic material of infected cells, resulting in prevention of HSV spread. This insertion of these genes triggers the body's defense tactics against HSV. Therapeutic vaccines, much like antiviral vaccines mentioned earlier, suppresses the virus. And then gene editing, the process of removing HSV from infected cells, more specifically cutting and targeting specific genes which aim for the complete removal from a host genome. There's great potential in nanotechnology as well, as these particles have the possibility of blocking viral replication at the cellular level, which works against the virus by sticking together. This makes it difficult for infecting cells. Herpes is treatable but not curable. A major setback in finding a cure for herpes is it remains dormant in our body for a long period of time. After the initial infection, an approach being taken is a kick and kill approach, which targets a virus. This starts with waking it up, exposing the hidden HSV virus, then using antiviral agents as stated earlier, or the immune system to eliminate the virus. This is still being experimented on, as yet resulted in complete eradication cure of herpes. Lastly, by bringing you these measures of how to prevent herpes, we raise awareness of this virus in order to reduce the negative stigma that is associated with it. By normalizing this concept of herpes, this will ensure that all people can seek help that they deserve and comfortably while doing so with no shame.